So it's been a little bit since we just kind of sat down and talked about a larger series of topics. The thing I've been meaning to talk about pretty much ever since the first week of the winter 2021 anime season began was how crazy the winter 2021 anime season actually is. I mean, this isn't some crazy new take. I mean, pretty much anyone with eyes can look at this season, from sequels to new entries to just what the hell ideas, as pretty much being the season to kill all other anime seasons. And based on the trajectory that anime in 2021 is going, should there not be a 2020 rehash of delays upon delays, already the spring season is looking rather tight and summer shaping up to be quite good as well. And this is even before most of the things have even been announced. So this year's gonna be good. And personally, I mean, I've been watching seasonal anime ever since the beginning of 2013. I kind of dabbled with anime off and on in 2012, and before then, 2013 is when that drive took off. So I've been watching seasonal anime ever since 2013. So I've seen all sorts of seasonal experiences, and I think I started at the optimal time too, when seasonal anime kind of found its groove. So there was always a good amount of shows coming out. The main difference between now and then is that a lot of shows that come out now, at the very least, get a second, if not a third season, even though it's still full adaptations are far and in between. I think when you look at this season, I mean, even if for whatever reason this season just isn't for you, doesn't cut it for you, you can find one show. You can guaranteed find one show that you enjoy, and if not, anime just isn't for you anymore, because this has returning hits upon hits upon hits to fresh ideas galore. I'm lucky that a majority of what came back in terms of sequels I enjoy. I mean, I caught up to that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Really enjoyed that. Season 2 kicking off to an enjoyable, slower, but very enjoyable start. I mean, you get Re:Zero, you get Attack on Titan, you get Higurashi, you get Jujutsu Kaisen, right? You got all these returning or new hits in the making, and it just really boils into such a compelling season. And I mean, generally when you have an anime season, you get one of three things. You get a season that's packed with hits, you get a season that's packed with okay shows, but you're not going to have too many of those stand out that you're going to remember the entire year, or you're going to have a good balance. And generally you kind of either are going to get quantity over quality or quality over quantity. This is a season that has so much that it actually is overwhelming, and I really like that. I mean, if there's kind of a bright side to the chaos of last year of anime, a lot of these sequels and a lot of these new ideas, I mean, are in one season. And sure, people will make the argument, well, in that case, things are getting overshadowed. You can look at stuff like, say, Log Horizon. While there's a lot of reasons Log Horizon may not be as popular with its third season as it was with the previous two, from the bigger delay to the shorter length of the season, people wanting to binge Log Horizon versus weekly like myself, but still, if this was a season that had maybe only Attack on Titan and Re:Zero as the big dominating forces, then Log Horizon probably would be a lot more talked about. And that's not a diss at Log Horizon. It's just the honest truth that if you have this many big shows, I mean, hell, you got a show called Wonder Egg Priority that took the community by storm. I'm part of that community that was took away by storm. I was like, what the hell, how could a show with a name like this, with no information leading up to it, blow me away? But here I am every week being like, what is this Silent Hill meets kind of Madoka Magica meets I don't even know what kind of insanity I'm seeing. What is going on? There's so much happening, and it feels so good to kick off a year after coming off of a year that most people did not like, not only just for anime or whatever it is, just 2020 was an exhausting year, and to have a season that seemingly is not letting up. I mean, we're approaching a month into this, and it's still going strong. It's absolutely fantastic, and it just makes you happy. The thing that I think stands out to me the most is not only just how many big returning shows, there's actually so many new ones that, if they were in any other season, probably would be some of the more talked about ones. I mean, you got shows like Other Side Picnic, you got shows like the new Cells at Work. I mean, the Cells at Work Black show, I think, is really creative. It's an interesting spin on the first one, and while Cells at Work is never going to be a show that I'm going to need to binge every episode or see every episode, it's one of those shows that I just really appreciate for existing because it's very educational without ever being boring. But then you get these new shows like Wonder Egg Priority, which I'm just sitting here thinking nonstop. That's a show I think about more than anything else. Attack on Titan will always be my favorite thing of any season if it's releasing. But in terms of new entries, at Wonder Egg Priority, I'm just blown away by the creativity, not only visually and how mature the story actually is for this kind of cartoonish look at times. It's a show that just, my friend Ryan, he said it best, it rejuvenated his love for anime. This shit is just so good, and I think if for whatever reason this was someone's first anime season, I both feel so good and so bad for them. I feel good because what better way to kick off your love for anime, but I also feel bad because this is not going to be the norm where every big show has a sequel in the same season, nor is there going to be creative hits like Wonder Egg Priority. It's great, you know what I mean? It's just something that you sit back and you say, anime fans come to know what to expect, right? We know what we're gonna go into, we know what we're gonna see. Getting a hit show like Horimiya pop up, every so often, I think every season there's like 1 or 3 shows that are pretty hyped up as a big new show, whether it's a kind of like a returning hit, if it's something that has wanted to get an anime for so long. But, you don't see, 3 Horimiyas in a season alongside 5 or more heavy, big sequels. And it's so overwhelming to the point that I actually have to find myself limiting what I'm going to complete. And if I do complete a lot of these other shows that I'm not reviewing, it's gonna be months down the line, I gotta be completely honest. Because the thing is you could easily burn yourself out watching too many good anime this season. When's the last time we've been able to say that? Where you consume so much that you're not able to appreciate the quality that's out there. So on one hand, I say definitely kind of pick everything that you want to watch, but I also say limit how much you're watching, because while it's always great to just consume 20 shows a week. I used to do that a lot when I was first getting into anime, at least seasonally that is. At the same time, you'll find yourself feeling more like it's a chore, and even if you're not feeling that way, you're not going to be able to soak in as much if you limit it. I think honestly, the optimal anime season is having a couple to 3 shows maybe a day, if you can fit that into your schedule, because then you have enough time to process everything, think about the next episode, without being overly flooded by kind of information overload. But seriously, just the more I think about this season, the more I really enjoy. And this is coming from a guy who enjoys every anime season. There's always something to enjoy. I don't care if there's only one good show in a season. If you can give me one good show in a season, I'm gonna be happy, because it means I experienced one more amazing anime that I'm hopefully going to remember for many years to come. And this is a season that, Jesus Christ, if 2021 can actually top this season, doesn't have to be next season, doesn't have to be summer, but if by fall there can be a season that tops this is going to be a year that's going to be next to impossible to beat, I think, for many years to come. But even if this is the best we'll see in 2021 for anime, what better way to kick off a year after coming off of such a shit year for so many? I'd love to know everyone's thoughts, so first and foremost, what's the thing that you're looking forward to the most every week? It can be a recurring show that came from fall, or it can be something brand new. Even if it's a sequel, I consider that to be brand new since it did start this season. But also, how many shows are you watching currently? Because obviously you see how many I'm reviewing weekly. It's 13, I believe, right now I'm reviewing weekly. It's a lot of shit. And there's a couple I've been watching on the side, but even then, there's so much I want to try, but I'm I gotta wait because I don't want to burn myself out. So definitely let me know down below. If you enjoyed, subscribe if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, take care. And just so you know, there will be a podcast hopefully next week talking about the first impressions, grander scale than this kind of condensed one. So until next time, have a good one.